What is this? Oh god. Wow. This is how it ends for SK to Jungle Gnar. That's that's so depressing. That is utterly sad. So, standard from SK. What were the bans? I forgot them. Sorry, I got distracted by Skype. Oh, Lee Sin banned this time, so Lulu's available for the first time in this series, so they go ahead and take that. So it looks like they're going back to what they wanted to do in Game 1. Of course, Corki does hit that power spike, but you can't abuse lane in the same way like Corki. That's where it really differs for SK, is that SK thrives in taking down that first turret very early on and creating a huge CS differential for Forgiven on the Caitlyn. But it got taken away from them this game. This is smart by UoL. So SK instead has to delay that until Trinity Force Sork Shoes is done to really start pushing down turrets. Which means that he's going to be in a weaker laning phase, especially against this Caitlyn if they end up in a 2v2, because this is smart. This is really smart by Unicorns. I love the fact that they took this. This has been their biggest problem in these games. And they don't necessarily need the Jinx. They just have to get Forgiven off a lane bully so that they can slow down the pace of the game and force SK to hit timing windows as opposed to just brain dead tower pushing. SK can avoid this though by lane swapping. So I think that's what they're going to do. They should lane swap. They have a really good lane swap with the smite. Hold on just a second.
Get the lane swap. I think this is the smartest and safest idea for SK. No reason to try and take the 2v2 into a Caitlyn Annie.
Well, we'll find out how it works out and who's going to be able to get that early pressure onto the towers.
So lane swap's a good idea right here. SK is going to have a really strong 1-3-1. UoL not going to have a great advantage to that, but they have the Unicorns has insane crowd control, right? So if we look at their composition, they have good engage with Annie and Maokai. They can follow up with secondary engage. They have multiple champions, Gnar and Maokai, that they can use the Orianna ult in combination with. The question here is that they're not going to be very strong until they get like 3 core items or so on Caitlyn and Orianna. So they have to kind of hold out. And I've never seen Jungle Gnar in my life. I have no idea how that's going to work. Obviously, late game, he's going to be super tanky and really good, but I'm not sure about his early jungle clears or if Svensson's going to be able to abuse him in his own jungle or what. So SK Telek, I keep calling them that. SK is going to be really focused around the mid game. They have to make a mid game power spike work and get a bunch of gold, right? And then they can win those team fights. Same problem that we saw when they ran Zed earlier on, except it's magnified because they have this Corki. And the Corki is just not going to be anywhere near as strong as the Caitlyn come the late game. I kind of wonder why they ran Gnar instead of Nunu. I don't really see Nunu with Blood Boil would give Caitlyn a better chance to fight in the mid game, like before she gets 3 core items, and would still provide a lot of crowd control and zoning. I don't really see why the Gnar is good. Maybe they have some sort of trick that I don't know about.
They're on the Gromp and will be heading top lane. Is it Chachi chilling by the wolf camp? We'll see when he decides to head to lane, and it looks like Freddy is holding.
Yeah, I'm preserving judgment on the Gnar. I just don't know. I don't know how it works. Obviously, with Cinderhulk, if he can become a super tank in the late game, he's going to be extremely scary. But it does limit your ganking abilities because he can't gank without Mega Gnar form. It's really awkward in terms of timing. That looks okay, so he gets Q and W.
So only really one lane Svenson would be able to gank, that's going to be the mid lane. Therefore Unicorns and Love should be able to expect this one and play around them. So they do.
So Huff Knight immediately walks into lane, no surprises here. Vizichachi's gonna port for a dive.
They're gonna go for an early dive on Freddy with the TP from Vizichachi as well.
A lot of commitment here. Ignite burned. They're chasing very, very far. Unable to get the kill. She was just the Ignite, so no flashes burned for that one.
Yeah, I don't know how successful that was gonna be. I mean, you had the W and the Q leveled up on Maokai, and you can stop him from farming, so it's probably worthwhile. Especially if you can translate it into a possible dragon.
And then Vizichachi could have tried to pick up some farm on the top lane for himself, at least get some XP, but instead they use him as the guy going for that early gank. Freddy has been denied all the farm. Unicorns now just need all these minions to die perfectly, and then you want to see if you can get the minions grouped and just hit your first minion so it slowly starts pushing towards you, and you deny more farm from Freddy. SK of course going to mirror and do exactly the same.
Well, I guess there is a little bit of a solace in the fact that Freddy being forced out of lane means that he is almost equally denied as Vizichachi. Towers are replied back and forth as Kikis gets control of the bottom crab. We do see Svenskeren, or rather SK, were able to secure the top crab. And we'll keep a close eye on this jungle Gnar. I do like the fact he's got a fair amount of AoE when he gets into Mega Gnar, and of course percentage damage in his W mini Gnar. So clear speed keeping up with Rek'Sai thus far.
Yeah, he won't be able to keep doing that. Seeing also due to the fact he's relying on the Mega Gnar. And at the same time, Rek'Sai still want to.
This Gnar just doesn't have pressure in the early game.
They just have a farm fest.
So Svenskeren should be able to actually do something here and get some ganks if he wants to.
Late game where Rek'Sai is going to fall off, both in terms of the damage and the tankiness, because she's building the warrior enchant. Normally here in Europe at least, we have seen Cinderhulk.
Looks like the SK is deciding to switch up the lanes right here and put the Shyvana. I like this move actually. Have the Shyvana go back, because in this case where they're freezing right here, if you push this into the turret and reverse the wave and freeze down in the bottom side, Shyvana will still be able to farm the jungle, so all 3 lanes of SK will be farming, while only 2 will be from Unicorns of Love because they don't have a smite on the top laner. So that's what they do. I think that's a really good option for them. Plus they'll have control over bottom side in a 2v1. And yeah, it's good. It's good for dragon control too. They can go for the dragon here also. Wow, they're using the recall timing of Power of Evil just to go back for that. That's smart. And now they're going to push the wave into the turret.
He's going to call in some support, and this will be a very, very early dragon. If there is any team that is capable of going for a 5-dragon victory with a team comp that will be more powerful at an earlier time, it's going to be SK.
I'm very surprised Unicorns decided to put Vardax in the top lane to pick up the big wave that was pushing down. SK Gaming didn't try and freeze.
Yeah, this is, I agree with Deficio. If you're going to use the Caitlyn for the fast push, you want to abuse the fact that she's stronger pre-6 than Corki and just really, really push. Because Corki's kind of getting off scot-free here, getting levels and farm.
By him being bottom lane, you give up all your lane pressure.
This is not good for Unicorns of Love.
He's not going to be able to hold off this tower if Forgiven and Array just keep pushing it down. He doesn't have the wave play to do it.
Freddy actually trying to recall right there. It doesn't really matter they didn't recall, but he can always just wait for this wave up here. He can recall Gromp and then walk up to the wave. No dragon either. SK really should be trying to reverse this, however. I don't know if you keep on putting pressure down onto the tower like this. Just try and sacrifice as much CS to the tower gods as possible. Yeah, this is good.
He's going to get all the farm, and SK is also going to get the damage on top tower or on the bottom tower.
One of the big things you kept talking about at the Inter Masters Championships in Katowice was the fact that Freddy was denied multiple waves by intelligent lane.
But in the top side, Freddy's getting that entire wave right now because we see Gnar here is not coming up to help with this wave situation, and Vardak's just recalled, and now he's heading right back to the top side. So Freddy may be able to get a freeze here. I didn't really see what... Let's go back and make sure that's true. Yeah, see, Vardak stops pushing right here, and there's no help from Gnar. And there's no wards here, so it's really dangerous for him to push up alone while there could be a Rek'Sai that they can't see at all. Man, I wish I had a replay so I could know what was going on the top side.
And it was a very big determining factor in controlling Freddy's impact in the mid game. This is not...
Wow, it looks like they're just going to keep pushing and then send Caitlyn into bottom instead.
It is still even footing with Freddy. Teleport
SK really looking strong in terms of pushing this advantage.
What I want to highlight is the fact that Vardak's Hylissang and that early tower play from Unicorns. Oh, that's going to follow. Oh. Good try, observers. I think the fact that Unicorns went for that very early tower play has actually put Vardak's behind on CS. And I think Unicorns are going to give up first blood. Sven Skeren has done it again. Tower shots are out. The exhaust is ticking away. Kikis is trying to get one in reply. He will manage to kill Secure, but now Fox is trying to get one up.
Oh,
the
nice
stun from Hylissang should be enough to save Kikis. It looks like it is.
Wow. I mean, he knows Gnar is right there. Or he should. Doesn't he see this with Tremor Sense? Yeah, he 100% knows Gnar is... Well, actually, you know what? He's probably just looking at this so he doesn't see the Tremor Sense up here. His screen is probably right where mine is. Maybe a little further up, so he just may not see the Tremor Sense, but that's a really cocky gank. The only information you have is that Gnar is not right here. They can't even see. He could be right here, he could be at Wolves, and he's got that gap closer with the hop too, so you have to be really careful. It's a good commitment, but the exhaust has Sven take an extra turret shot right there. And then Fox trying to go after this one is just silly because he sees Annie coming. Look at this. Annie is pinged, as a matter of fact, by SK. So why you would follow this under the turret when your team is telling you, hey, Annie's coming, is really not a smart play. You can't get greedy either because you have to use that mid-game advantage that you have with your composition. At the very least, you got first blood. And they only gave up kills to the jungler and support, which is not very impactful.
But then Hylissang with the roam, as you just talked about here. And with the play Unicorns made beforehand, the only thing they really lost was some damage on the bot lane tower.
Yeah, you're right. He did misclick an auto too. It's really overextending by SK. They're not paying attention to the information that they have.
That slow may have been needed. We do see the root coming in. Kikis is trying to get some auto attacks down, looking to get hype, but this boomerang does connect. Chachi continues to chase. There's a red buff available. Arcane Smash will get it. One more hit. Kikis gets the kill. Trying to get some auto attack. flash.
Was some damage on the bot lane.
So simultaneously, though,
Pushing it in. Chachi gonna follow Freddy, who already
Freddy invades.
Unicorns made before.
Freddy invades when
Correct side this time around. Got the first blood.
he knows his mid laner isn't there. His mid laner and jungler just died, and he invades on red buff.
Unicorns made beforehand.
Like,
The only thing they really lost
you can't
was
do that.
damage on the bot lane tower.
That's so risky.
Pushing it in.
You don't have a flash to get out of that situation, so when the Twisted Advance just follows him up,
They're chasing a burnout. That's a flash. Arcane smash to slow. Kikis has just turned back into mini Gnar. Boomerang does not connect. That slow may have been needed. We do see the root coming.
Nice
in. Kikis
knockback
is
from
trying to get
Vizzy.
some auto attacks down, looking to get high, but this boomerang does connect. Chachi
and
continues
Kiki's
to
is
chase
very sticky
Arcane
on this
smash.
Gnar. That is the
One more hit.
upside.
Kikis gets the kill.
I suppose Freddy nearly gets out of that,
With a touchdown sapling.
and he didn't expect the Maokai to come in from top.
301. Official, we've seen this movie before twice.
Yes.
And both times, the end credits is SK Gaming celebrating a killed Nexus. Let's see whether or not the third episode in today's series will turn out differently. Elisang trying to defend that pink ward. We do see Vardang. Oh, he's almost going to get killed by the Grom. It's a really
Ouch.
scary Toad.
Yeah, and now the freeze happening down here too, so this is still a good situation in spite of that death
Then you enter this mid-game phase
for
where
SK.
you're one of the weakest AD carries, and you need so
This
much
is
time
really, really
to
bad for
use them.
Caitlyn.
You need to hit 3
She needs those items just to be able to wave clear properly with her Q.
Corki's obviously gonna hit that fantastic mid-game instead. So by, first of all, Unicorns fast pushing the bottom lane tower, by the fact it was a lane swap, I guess we can say, first of all, and then sending Bardox to the
How are
top lane,
Evil going
all the way
Rod
to the
after?
bottom,
Oh,
2v2 on the bottom.
I'm actually amazed that Unicorns of Love wins this game because going Arm Guard Rod
His early game
means that okay, this is a late game. You already need 3 core items on these champions in order to actually deal damage, and they're going to be in a huge power trough. Caitlyn's so weak because of the CS differential. There's a CS differential here too,
with the way Unicorns
and
played a swap, it's
you
gonna
have
be
no wave clear. You have no wave clear right now. You've got
Elisang
there's not enough AP on this team at all. How does SK lose this? They should be able to just smash them in this power spike.
Let's also be fair, Unicorns dove. They did fall
They must make some really bad mistakes.
But this is also the strategy they pulled
Because
off.
the split push
Bardock saying, "I'm gonna
in
go
about
top.
10 minutes
I'm not
should
gonna
just
do anyone."
destroy
Unicorns
Unicorns.
as a team saying, okay, you go top, you push out the wave. But given this picked up a lot of extra farm. Never really been under any pressure on the Corki here. 100 CS nearly at 10 minutes. Trinity Force coming in fairly soon for him. And then you have this insane spike where Unicorns is going to take so much longer with double tank and need to scale up with a Caitlyn.
I think Vizichachi's in trouble here. Despite the sapling, it's just going to be a simple cleanup. Kikis is too late to this party. Sven Skaren with one more Prey Seeker picks it up. Kikis, is he going to pick this fight once he goes Mega Gnar? That's the decision. He's about to transform. He's going to hop himself away.
Yep, they get a bunch of damage down on the mid turret right here. Fardax just has to farm, so he can't really respond to the pressure that's being put down.
Timing of this here for SK Gaming. Bottom lane,
SK's doing really, really well.
pushed in, so they don't care about that wave. That's a dead lane for them at the moment. And instead they put the bottom lane in the mid lane to push it up.
So starting to split with Zed. Zed really close to the blade now. That's huge.
Where there was an overextended Maokai.
And as soon as they get that Trinity Force, it's going to be another couple of minutes, but that's how you don't win here. This is so incredibly good for SK's composition. Even if they were even in gold, SK would still have a huge advantage. And now that they're going to be hitting this timing even better with more money, it's really, really solid.
Things to moan about. Let's be fair, the games you've won is when you play SK's playstyle. When they've picked scaling comps into late game, Unicorns played them like a fiddle. But when SK grab the reins, nobody can get it back.
SK and Svenskern is on the early junglers.
I mean, the Danish player, Deficio.
Danish player.
There's one guy in the audience.
Hey, I like that guy.
Hmm.
So, Dragon has been up for a little while. SK, I think, respecting the
Where's the Trinity Force? It's so close now.
Trying to get some poked out, and look at Freddy split
Look at the
pushing
side
top.
lanes. SK doesn't have to do anything because they're gonna get.
Yeah, this is
minions to push
really,
down a tower
really
farm.
good.
If anyone shows from the
Look at their side wave control right now. They have pressure on all 3 lanes, and there's really nothing that Unicorns of Love can do to respond. They're losing a huge amount of CS to this turret and this turret at the same time. It's going to cause them to fall even further behind in terms of gold. And Freddy does a good job of zoning Maokai off the turret right here, so he can't actually deal with it. So they're going to get then they just get Dragon for free. SK, how do you lose this game?
and that dragon just been
Well,
just wait.
just like clockwork, as Oriana shows.
Because right now, SK is playing really well.
Second dragon at 13 minutes 25 seconds. SK has won multiple games this split.
And yeah, Unicorns of Love will scale very hard, but they should never be allowed to get to that point. They should have all their turrets kicked in before that even happens. So you have Blade of the Ruined King on Zed right now. Still no boots, so that may be slightly problematic. You're going to give the red over to the Zed for the split push. You have the Trinity Force. Now is the time. You already have 2 towers down. You just have to push through in the mid lane. And then you can create picks at Baron.
Quite a game, but it's not over yet for the Unicorns of Love in this situation here. We still look
Shyvana can keep farming with the smite.
They don't want to go full late game here by any means against a double tank Oriana King and everything from the Unicorns of Love. But knowing SK Gaming, they don't really take any chances either, which has been the big difference between them and Gambit. If you look at the quarterfinal games for the Unicorns of Love, where they also pick slow scaling comps. Fell behind early, but then
How does this go wrong?
How
How does it go wrong?
Okay,
they take the blue buff. That's going to be denied. TP.
Let's see what happens here, though.
Svenskaren's going low. He's maybe been caught a little bit out of position. Chachi's TP'd in, jumped onto Freddy, who didn't even need to use that teleport. Unicorns of Love are forced away. Kikis is about to go Mega Gnar. He throws the chimney. And SK unable to find a target. Wallop will stun Fox, but not able to.
Okay, now they have TP advantage too. They baited out the TP.
Able to secure the teleports from
And they got the blue buff, I think. There's no dragon for them to take. There's no way for them to push into turrets, because waves are still going in Unicorns of Love's direction. Fox, no! Oh, that flash waste.
Actually tried to flash in rather. Is Fox looking for Power of Evil? Not managing to make it work.
Sven was joining as well. They're simply just
Calm down, SK. Put the pressure on. There we go. Oh!
We're aiming for a kill, and meanwhile,
Oh!
we're mid lane. You got this Corki on the Trinity Force.
Great.
He's gonna stop him. Caitlyn didn't get to use her early game at all. Kikis on the Gnar.
Just being a little annoying.
We really see the playstyle from Kikis. Doing the split,
60 CS advantage on this Corki.
And then ever since
Ah,
Cinderhawk came out,
I'm so amazed that they lose.
not looking at what SK Gaming has been doing in the jungle, kept going for the tanks. This is obviously a new one, the Gnar, but it's not one that's going to change anything in terms of what you can do early on.
I mean, the only thing that they must just get caught out over and over and over again, or take man-down fights over and over and over again until Unicorns can scale into the late game and get too tanky to kill. Eventually, they will get too tanky to kill with Corki and Zed. That is for sure. You get QSS onto the Caitlyn, and eventually these hyper tanks are going to come online, and there's not really anything you can do through all the crowd control in a 5v5. And you can't really create picks either if everybody is tanky on the other team and you have a Caitlyn with QSS. So, Zed won't be able to one-shot anybody except for maybe Annie.
I don't see how Kikis is going to knock multiple people into a stun.
I just look at it and say, why not Sejuani? And you just throw the ulti instead. Somewhat of the same effect. I guess you really
This
want
is Europe, Fisher. We don't play Sejuani here.
Fair enough. I mean, it's pretty true.
Yeah.
If you look at the playoff games here, nobody's really wanted to play Sejuani.
I Will Dominate last night had fantastic ultimates.
Oh, Sejuani's so good.
Yeah.
One of the best junglers.
Battle Pig.
Anyhow, SK Gaming has been split pushing quite a bit. Now they've decided, let's try and make a play. We already pushed on every single lane. Probably will just got to push down a push back the bottom lane. SK Gaming doesn't see the opportunity to get one kill, so they can just go back 1-3.
Yeah, you know, if I were you guys, I would be really hoping the Unicorns of Love doesn't go to MSI, because they're not going to be able to get away with these shenanigans against teams that like are very good at shot calling and snowballing out properly, and who aren't so. I mean, if you look at their way there, SK has not been choosing good team fights over the course of this series when they lose, and if UoL loses the laning phase hard, they pretty much have just gotten dominated. They have very little comeback potential.
Well, the thing is, you're an AP carry, and you're gonna have 0 damage with this build here.
I would be scared. If Unicorns of Love goes to MSI... Oh, wow. That was really well played. I think either C9... I mean, either C9... I think C9 would win again against them. I think TSM would win against them. I think they would perform very poorly internationally. Fnatic, I think, would do better.
And I doubt they're going to get that opportunity again.
There was flash timbers, flash ulti from Kikis as well. Dragon spawning 20 seconds and Ready will be ready for it. Like the play though from the Unicorns, you saw Zed in the mid lane, so you knew there was a chance at least to start ulti from Kik.
So let's take a look at that decision actually as we go back and see why this happened. First off, they were clustered. Why? You have a 1-3-1 going right now. There is absolutely no reason for Forgiven and N-Rated to be here when you can be pushing all 3 lanes at the same time. And I don't get that decision at all from SK. You don't want Shyvana here with the Corki. You want the Corki here, and the Zed here, and the Shyvana here. You have a 1-3-1 comp. Just use it. You're winning. Just punish as hard as possible.
Look at the playoff games here. Nobody's really wanted to play Sejuani.
I will dominate. Last night had fantastic.
Also, they don't have the wards necessary to make this rotation very effectively, right? They have to take a pretty long way around instead of coming through here and threatening the dive on the turret. And it's just super slow.
Pushing quite a bit. Now they've decided, let's try and make a play. We already pushed on every single lane. Probably will just got to push down. Push back
yeah, you have to set up wards, I think, before you make this play if you want to do it. Because the way this play is made properly is by getting right here and forcing people around the back while the Corki sieges. If anything, Freddy should be here.
Get one kill so they can just go back 1-3-1. You start putting focus on that dragon. Look for Freddy to just push on.
Freddy should be here so that Zed can assassinate anybody with Freddy that's coming to deal with this turret. Freddy being here does nothing. This is a bad way to siege a turret with this composition.
Doubt it will change. The tower does survive a lot of damage. Very few auto attacks landed. Unicorns of Love doing the best.
Yeah, this is not smart.
Take note of Power of Evil's build. It is different from the Orionas you've seen today.
If you want to commit to this, you have to fully commit to it and just prevent them from even getting there, because they had the advantage in terms of getting 5 people on that tower, and they could have gotten it, in fact, but their zone control was really, really poor. And that sets them up for what, this? I mean, they only lost 1 through all of that. That's still not... It really didn't go that badly for SK, comparatively. And they're not even gonna lose any objectives for it in the end.
You obviously would have won all 3 of them and not just the support.
If anybody was sleeping, I definitely woke them up with that one. My bad. Unicorns, they managed to defend their top inner turret, and very importantly, Vardags and Chachi will secure their 2nd tower of the game as we get close to 20 minutes. Freddy is trying to run down Vardags. Vizichachi's going to root him in place. Vardags is going to land auto attack after auto attack, but here comes N-Rated. Dragon secured by Svenskar, and Chachi's down. Now they're going to run down Vardags. If a Glitterlance connects, it's not even going to be needed. They get the tower, they lose the dragon, and
Nice flash.
they lose Vardags.
Just
SK
flash.
Gaming, 3 in trouble. Yeah, lose Vizichachi, sorry.
Just split push.
Given sitting and defending the mid
Just split
lane.
push this out. Push it all the way out.
20 minutes in, looking to keep pushing in the lane.
There.
Into a tower.
Look, you're doing it. I'm so proud of you right now.
We can see Freddy getting some damage on the top tower. You're going to push up the bottom lane.
No.
Freddy's
Freddy, auto!
to
No!
put damage down. This is also
What the...
upgrade from previous games in the series where he has been greedy.
He has wards.
True. SK as well.
He has wards.
Trying to spot what's going on to save.
Why? He just gave them a bunch of farm and didn't kill the turret.
We're back in the split pushing style.
What the fuck are the point of these wards if you're not going to use them?
In the mid lane, approaching 60-70 CS in the bottom lane. Only just
Or
finished that
do anything. Do anything at all. Kill the Krugs.
staying greedy to put damage down. This is also
Oh, the Krugs were dead.
Going for the kills as we can see Fred
They were dead. They spawned later.
goes wrong.
Still.
We're back in the split pushing style.
Split pushing is not for feeding your opponents giant waves of CS. That's not how you split push.
in the bottom lane. Only just finished that Infinity Edge for Bardags in comparison to the Cutlass and Triforce and Sork Shoes. Forgiven is on another level at this stage in the game.
Yeah, play the ranking on
Don't play around Dragon. Just split push. Look at this.
you're against these big
Look at this shit. This is giving me a giant headache. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back.
You've just been a lot
This is also not how you split push.
Gaming.
Okay, it's gonna develop over like a minute, okay? Right, so they get the kill here. Meanwhile, who knows what... So Fox is gonna go take the dragon. Alright, fine. Then, Fox is going to walk here,
nice flash.
all the way around. Okay, so he's gonna go push out the bottom wave.
So
SK
splash.
Gaming.
Nope. He's gonna walk right back up into mid. Oh, nope. Gonna go back down to bottom. Alright, alright. Forgiven should be able to hold this. He's got good enough wave clear. There's Rek'Sai there. Now he starts to push. Okay, if you are doing this, if you just get this kill, you have to, in a split push scenario, these two guys have to be talking to each other so that you can coordinate the pressure on the waves. Right now, what they're doing is they're fast pushing the top wave when you want to split push and try and hit everything at the same time.
Probably just been a lot
Okay.
slower game because SK is just looking to keep
They're all chased off.
your top
If you're SK, you know exactly where these guys are.
7-0 Lee Sin.
You see him back off. You have... You're going in here. Okay, right now,
Pushing in the range and get
as soon as that ward goes in that brush,
going for the
you know they're not in this side of the jungle.
kills. As we can see Freddy getting some damage on the top tower. He's gonna
Right? They ward up everything. So it's right to back off right here temporarily. But now you know there's nothing in there. You can push this up. And you have to continue to pressure here until Zed comes. The entire point is you want to draw several people to the top side so that by the time this wave hits the turret,
Staying greedy to put damage down.
they can't react very well and you can slowly whittle down the towers.
Where he has been
You got all the info you needed. You know everybody's on this bottom side, and you have a pink ward here, and they're not coming for Fox. Perfectly safe situation.
before anything goes
The only people who are really in danger are the people pushing the mid wave, but they already got they already got it up to the tower.
in the split pushing style.
And then Zed just leaves.
difference to Fisher. 50 CS in the mid lane, approaching 60-70 CS in the bottom lane. Only just finished that Infinity Edge for Bardags in comparison to the Cutlass and Triforce and Sork Shoes.
So it's a really uncoordinated pressure from SK, and they need to do this right, and they need to do this properly now for the next few minutes before that dragon spawns again.
Play to take them down.
This is their time to shine. They're not going to get more powerful than they are right now in comparison to their opponents.
Rod of Ages into Hourglass. The problem with it is it takes
It's only a 3k gold difference. This is perfectly within comeback territory for Unicorns of Love once they get enough tank items.
You don't run any mana region in this build either. So if long team fights, you're gonna struggle as well. Play around him instead.
One thing does need to be said of the Unicorns of Blood. By 22 minutes in both of their losses this series, they had lost the game. They were
Okay,
so
this is
far
good.
behind.
Get deep wards in. Allow Zed to split push.
Why SK Gaming wants to get the early dragon so they know, okay, we might not be able to siege on your tower because we're running like a Z, so we can't really go 5-man, just take your tower in. We slowly split push, slowly chip them away, and then we keep having that dragon, which is going to be like taking
Take the
time.
jungle.
Forced you to come and fight us.
Given, but the tib is done.
Or I should give it over to
Fine,
you, take
fine,
advantage of
fine.
that, and then we
This
go
is all good. This is good. This is what you want right here.
Unicorns, while they are not as far behind. They're trying a flash play on Forgiven.
Hylissang's got Forgiven, but the Tibbers does
So they also burn teleport. This is perfect.
Now Fox is trying to flank. Here comes Power Beaver from behind. Unicorns are split. Tibbers has already been used. Chachi's teleported in. Here comes Svenskeren and Freddy. Fox is throwing down the depth.
That's a really good ultimate from Freddy.
UoL can win this fight. Shockwave was already used. They've traded 1-for-1 in the fight. I think Unicorns of Love a little.
You don't want to initiate with Zed like that though. You want them to You want them to burn cooldowns on the Shyvana if possible. Right, Fox goes in there. The Caitlyn's already really a high priority target, and with Freddy already on top of Caitlyn and using that smite on Caitlyn as well, you're pretty okay. And Zed needs to just play the periphery and threaten the periphery right there instead of going in. Yeah, and also they could have just kept split pushing right there too. Because if you look at this, they commit 3-4 people. Freddy could have just killed the turret. Again. Forgiven does a good job getting out of this.
Unicorns, while they are not as far behind, they're trying a flash play on Forgiven.
Yeah. Just kill the turrets.
Forgiven's able to get himself away. Now Fox is trying to flank. Here comes Power Beaver from behind. Unicorns are split. Tibbers has
You already punished them. The amount of punishment that could have been done here by SK Gaming if they had just taken at least one of those turrets, because then you have TP advantage and you can make a 5v4 play on the map later on while you continue to split push.
I think Unicorns of Love a little bit lucky to come away with that one. Chachi and Kick is trying to get back. They lost Fox. Forgiven still relatively healthy. Got double buffs as well. The rest of Unicorns are actually going to try the siege up. Minions should be cleared very, very quickly. Hylissang gets the stun on Freddy. Minions are now cleared away. And SK Gaming thinking about a re-engage. Forgiven takes so much damage from the attack in the distance. Kickers is about to turn. He's got no flash available. Keep that in mind.
They're just playing right into Unicorn's hands. Unicorns used a teleport to set up a team fight in the mid lane. And then even though they dodged the TP engage, they just walk right back into it. Sure, it was 1-for-1. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you could have gotten a lot more global gold for your team here.
Whenever they force a team fight, if they get SK Gaming to leave the side lanes and join the fight, and then go even, Unicorns can return to the side lanes and now pick up all the farm that's already been pushed down. That's going to be the big deal for them. Let's see the fight itself. It was first Hylissang going in, stunning Forgiven, then Tippers came in after and TP. So they're trying to force the fight. SK decided to not take the side lanes, but instead aim to fight them because they have this Corki, which is so good in the mid game compared to the Caitlyn. So they think they can get more from joining the fight than just taking the outer turrets. Start is good. Shockwave on the tanks from Power Beaver. Get the kill from Bardex and now just chasing on and getting caught a little bit under the tower, which was still alive for Unicorn. So SK calculating a little bit wrong here.
Who's the 80 carry from the fight?
Okay, more split pushing. Dragon up in 50.
And Unicorns, they hold on to fight another day. 45 seconds until Dragon. It will be Dragon number 4. There is so little wiggle room for Unicorns of Love if they give that one up uncontested. But with no teleport on Vizichachi and no real vision control in this area of the map, you have to feel they're going to give this one up. It's so risky to be playing around here. Kickers has got a pretty good mega gnaw timing though. If he can find a few auto attacks.
See what Power Beaver can do as well. As we mentioned, no mana regen for, no cooldown reduction either when the Rod of Ages comes in first. So he has delayed his core items quite a lot. Getting the outlast as well.
Chachi forced to join in lane because of the lack of teleport. Means Freddy keeps pushing.
Yeah, SK just needs to buy time. If Unicorns ever start the Dragon, SK can decide to TP in and fight, or just let Freddy keep pushing on the top wave. Unicorns here have to be very decisive.
Well, there's the teleport. It's actually Vizicachi that jumps onto Svenska, and the rest of Unicorns of Love looking for an engage. Kikis gets turned into a munchkin. He doesn't get to Gnar. He's about to pop into mini Gnar. Now Freddy still has the option of Dragon's Descent in. The Shockwave does get two in the backline as Vizicachi re-engages. Svenska and the Narrator are forced away, but it's Kikis the first victim. Now Power of Evil is being focused down by the Dragon Lady. Vardax way out of position. He's not going to be able to get too many auto attacks down, but Fox jumps into range. Both AD carries securing an extra kill this fight. 2 for 1. Dragon untouched, and Power of Evil, his survivability and tankability may be working out in this team fight.
Yeah, 2 for 1, but Unicorns of Love still fairly healthy if they want to try and take this dragon. Sven can recall and return with...
Let's take a look at that fight.
Very important dragon. Can Unicorns get out?
Well, they may be able to. 90 caliber over the wall. Hillisang.
Alright, using the Void Rush right there.
Forgiven.
Comes back in. No surprise.
Tunnels nearby. One has just been cleared now. The other one, I believe, is
Not clearing those tunnels is pretty bad.
Given. He's gonna come in. Let's see if he can stop it. He has to smite. Not in time. Very important dragon. Can Unicorns get out?
Well, they may be able to. 90 caliber over the wall.
Yeah, that really bought Unicorns a lot of time in this game to keep on scaling. I want to see that team fight again.
But map control, map towers still standing.
But you have seen how SK thinks they...
So Vizicachi coming in here. Again, they don't have to TP immediately onto this one. Forgiven's going to Valk out, and Svenskeren is just going to stand there and engage. SK right now, they have poke advantage. They have this Corki that's in his sweet spot, and they have pressure on the top lane with no TP on the enemy side. You can continue to shove into this turret right now. This is the umpteenth time that we've seen this Shyvana just not try and apply pressure. What SK should be doing is just trying to delay this as much as possible, but Svenskeren getting caught out forces the TP to be used. Because otherwise right here, they know Vizicachi's in that rush, right?
SK thinks they can take the fights, and that's why they want to keep going for it. But you have seen how SK thinks they can take the...
So Svenskeren actually trying to tank right here while the rest of his team is disengaging is really the problem. He should be pulling back in this direction, where Forgiven just wants to use that poke with the rockets while they hold on right here. Poke them down, and then you TP after you deal more damage to the turret. But you need to get that poke down first because there's so much AoE crowd control on this team. And Unicorns Left sets this up right. Svenskeren's too far forward. They're able to force the Valk out of the Corki early on. And then they get in the choke right here, so this is a really good ult by Freddy. They set this one up very nicely for them. And the Shockwave doesn't do a whole hell of a lot right there, as they have a lot of... I mean, it's a good Tibbers too, but... Forgiven's very protected in this situation while Fox comes in onto the top side.
Managed to get 2 kills. Unicorns were healthy enough to take the dragon, which is the important one. And really SK, they showed they want to fight so
yeah,
bad.
they have to play out that comp correctly. They need to get the poke in first, and they need to prioritize the split pushing over the immediate team fighting.
Much closer game. Deciding matchup in this best of 5. Unicorns still falling behind, but not as drastically as their previous losses. Take a look at the itemization. Phantom Dancer finally completed for Vardax. Last Whisper, in fact, picked up for Forgiven. He really has to, or wants to, get through Vizicachi and Kikis. And we did see SK starting the Baron a moment or two ago. They've got a couple pinks.
Okay, so SK's decided they're going to bait the Baron right now. This is fine. They do have burst damage with the Zed to try and abuse this, although it's going to be hard to burst anybody down.
Does get turned into a little munchkin. Now we do see Fox.
They get it with 4 people. TP wasted. Okay, this is another great situation for SK.
Gets a kill onto the smite of Unicorns of Love. Now Chachi could jump into this area. Let's see what Freddy can do. Remember, there's no death mark available. If a good shockwave hits, I think that might be the only way. Freddy, Dragon's Descent into the river. Baron.
Oh my god.
It is stolen! Power of Evil has kept Unicorns in the semi-finals. Unicorns. It is stolen. Freddy, Dragon's Descent into the river. Baron. A good shockwave hits. I think that might be the only way. Freddy, Dragon.
I mean, Svenskeren can't smite here. He doesn't have enough smite damage. It just out damages what he's able to put down, right? And we can see it's at 1087. Oh, it went down to 200, and he still didn't smite. He missed smite. Never mind. So you can see right here, it's at 136.
The river. Baron will be secured. It is stolen. Power of Evil.
He just missed smite.
Unicorns in the semi-finals.
And yes, they have 2 smites. That is true. That was a pretty big fail.
I can't believe that just happened. They're gonna get a mid tower as well, because everyone from SK Gaming is trying to recall.
You know, the scary thing, though, is if that isn't stolen, SK just destroys this game with a split push afterwards. Assuming that they want to auto turrets, which has been a problem this entire game. Man, that's huge! Well, now UoL really does have a good chance. SK just wasn't playing their advantages well in terms of the split pushing, and Unicorns of Love held off long enough.
They got behind in dragons, behind in kills, behind in gold.
They took a dragon and they took the Baron, so now they've just extended this game by like 10 minutes, which should be the amount of time they need. I was wondering how they lost, but it was really just SK not committing to split pushes.
From Svenskeren. He tries to ease smite. Shockwave gets pulled, and there was no smite for Sven at all. Onto the Baron. Very clear he wanted the E from himself and then the smite after. Get as much damage as possible. That is so massive for Unicorns of Love.
Officio, we break 30 minutes on the clock.
Time
And
as
a
well now, Power of Evil.
massive minion wave in the top lane is going to allow Unicorns.
Okay, well there goes all the gold lead into this incredibly high scaling composition run by Unicorns of Love.
If ever SK were to feel pressure, it is right here, right now. Wasn't even a 50-50.
Yeah. You're giving Sven.
Okay, so Dragon's gonna be the next fight.
Mistake from him. Right here.
And SK is past their prime now, though.
Next one for SK Gaming, because you're starting to hit the point now where Unicorns of Love is strong enough to just sit and wave clear
And
in these side lanes, and then even if you get a
the itemization, last whisper now.
What's gonna happen to this dragon?
But in the
Next
last
question.
dragon fight, Power of Evil sustained a fair amount of damage.
That's the thing again. The only bad thing about it in this sense is that it delays your core build, your damage, but now with him getting the Void Staff, with him still being in the game, he can get a death cap as well. And then he's gonna have the same amount of damage. He's still gonna lack some, some mana. I guess he has extra mana from the Rod of Ages, but then he has no cooldown reduction either, which is one of the big deals for him. So he needs to make every single spell count. Mostly gonna impact due to the shockwave cooldown point, but still. Unicorns of Love has done everything they can to stay in the game. And SK Gaming's, I'm not going to call it greed, but the way they decided to say we want to fight because we can get more kills by fighting than we can get more gold from fighting and winning the fights than we can from taking these towers.
Come on, somebody go for the dragon already. Unicorns of Love has control of the choke. You just wait for somebody to walk in there and then anti-ult them. They have vision control.
Transformation bar is slowly powering up. That boomerang Every time it connects, one more hit. Oh, Kickers has taken a lot of poke though. He's about to transform. Dragon's been pulled. Vardax is starting this one in the back line. This would be number 2 if it's secure. Svenskeren comes in. It's an auto attack from Vardax. Kickers is looking for the fight, and Freddy is chasing down. That's a big gnaw. It manages to stun Forgiven on the back line. Freddy and Fox are on the front line. They found for Vardax. I think he's going down. He is down. They've managed to trade him for a mid lane though, and Freddy's running amok. The shockwave catches Forgiven, but can Chachi keep him alive? Power of Evil continues to chase. There's no more mana for Corki as Kickers is dropped off screen. Hylissang is not in this fight. Now there's no cooldown reduction, which is what Officio is talking about. Flash away from Vizichachi. It traded 2 for 1, but it's going to be much, much worse. Dragon secured by Unicorns of Love. Vizichachi's down. Power of Evil will be down. Hylissang is in full retreat. I feel it's a matter of time, although the stun might be able to save here. Svenskeren, that was a little unexpected. Don't see the glitz a lot.
I like what Forgiven's doing though. He's already pushing, and they have a TPN from Freddy also. Okay, they just kill everybody. Now kill the turrets. Wow. It's huge.
Right, Dragon went to Unicorns. Forgiven is going to be pushing down multiple towers.
So some very, very key things. There's no QSS for Vardax yet, so the Z can still jump him. Kick is...
What the hell?
I think committing for this kill, all of the support from SK. That's transformed into Nah, but is not going to have the ultimate cooldown available. This means Vardax and Chachi are left alone to defend. Gold lead increases.
Why is Zed doing blue buff?
Dragon timer again, plus increase. Vardax and Chachi are left alone to defend.
Why? Just push.
Vardax and Chachi into Nah, but is not going.
Was he low on HP? What's the deal? No, he literally just walks over to blue buff because now is clearly the time to get it. Not when they're all dead. Not when you can push it. No, now. Screw it. Huge minion wave in the top side. Everybody defending. 3 people dead. Now, fuck this. Blue buff's really important.
Lead increases to 7,000. Dragon timer again, plus 6 minutes. Yep. Look at the fights.
So Svenskeren actually gets in on this one.
No defensive fights yet.
This is a really good ult from Freddy. Freddy's had some very nice ults this game. They keep the backline chain CC'd really well, but this is the scary thing about this Shyvana at this stage, tying you down with the ultimate into the Randuins right there. And you can't kill oh man, look at this. The top turret actually went down to minions. Good job, SK's minions. Doing what SK won't. Kill top tower. Yeah, that's really important. Vardax is the only consistent. There's just not enough AP yet. Once we maybe see a death cap here, it's going to change where Ori will actually be able to hit some damage a little bit harder. But even though UoL did a really good job of dealing with the backline, Freddy was one-manning like 3 of their members and killed their carry. So the cleanup was there for SK because they still had an AD carry available, where it just wasn't there for Unicorns of Love, because even though neither AD carry was really autoing during that fight, there was only one left standing in the end.
We jump back to live. 35 minutes. The gold lead has grown. Top inner turret fell. Bottom inner turret fell. And SK
There's the QSS. There it is.
Regained control.
So Vardax recall, figured he had enough for it. That's gonna be so important for next fight.
Well, they're back in the running. They do have that huge. They do have a huge gold lead off of that.
To engage in, then you can kite the Rexa, you can kite the Shyvana, and you can make sure your 2 carries, one as an Outlast, one as a QSS, doesn't die to the Z, and then suddenly you can win the fight. You saw how Forgiven trying his best, but he has to keep hitting these tanks. You invest all your mana as Corki. We've hit the point where you can't really take them down too fast.
If only there was a second upgraded Oracle's Lens on SK, they could actually maybe clear out some of these wards a little bit better and bait around the Baron. Maybe if they sold their Dorn's shields for pink wards.
100% in their
I don't
favor,
know.
but it's gonna help a whole lot compared to the last one.
We'll find out.
Trinket upgrades have been pretty pathetic for SK this series so far.
Team fight, game 5 semi-final. Svenskeren clearing out the vision around Baron. The last time SK started that, Power of Evil stole the Baron buff. A shockwave. Unicorns of Love. I feel like they're posturing very aggressively. They
Zed has nobody to attack anymore except for Annie, and Annie is not a great target because she's not going to have cooldowns by the time Zed attacks her. She's going to blow Tibbers, and that's going to be it. Glory.
They're actually going to engage onto Freddy. Freddy's been able to get away. Void Rush comes in, it's Freddy that starts. Now we'll see how late can Svenskeren join the fight. Bardax gets caught by the QSS. We just see Fox gets burned by the exhaust, and the QSS was popped. Vizichachi, the front line is down. Shockwave catches 3, but it's simply not going to be enough. Bardax again is very, very low. Unicorns of Blood have lost 1.
Okay, you gonna do Baron now?
Absolutely nothing as it catches behind the Dragon Lady. Unicorns of Blood initiating a fight under Freddy. You've got to question that decision. Power of Evil gets knocked up into the air. Command Protect will keep him alive. Kickus is on the bottom lane. SK is trying to peel away. Bardax, you're a little bit alone. This is quite scary. Prey Seeker catches. No one else from SK can jump onto him. Fox kills.
Wow, that was actually really good. They killed Kickus on the side. So the big item here that's not completed yet is the Thorn Mail for the Shyvana, though. That would be really great to have right now.
Can somebody else from the Unicorns do something magical? Baron, below half, it's being melted. They're not in range. 3,000. Big auto attack onto Forgiven. It crits. Hittersight. Flash stuns. Here comes Chachi. He's caught Forgiven. Bardax is unable to get auto attacks. They've got them. Svenskeren's down. Forgiven is down. We see them. They continue chasing. Bardax is getting caught out. 2 for 0. There is no jungler. Top lane is low and there is no teleport. Unicorns of Love are setting up for Baron.
So just as a reminder, you know, they could have just set up and set a pick right here instead of actually trying to do the Baron. I mean, they still have a lot of burst and there's no vision, right? There's no vision. They have to face check this. Okay, imagine this. They have to face check this Baron. You can just E under right now. Or he has to be in there. You have Valk available. You can control this choke. You have Living Shadow. There are tons of ways for you to get over the wall and just assassinate somebody.
3,000. Big auto attack onto Forgiven. It crits. Hittersight. Flash stuns. Here comes Chachi. He's caught Forgiven. Bardax is unable to get auto attacks. They've got them. Svenskeren's down. Forgiven is down. We see them. They continue chasing. Bardax is getting caught out. 2 for 0. There is no jungler. Top lane is low and there is no teleport. Unicorns of Love are
well, free Baron. Just do it. Do it, Unicorns. Just do it. Be like Nike. See, that has a double meaning because she was also the goddess of victory. And Barons bring you victory.
Look at the side lanes.
No ulti for Freddy at the moment.
Teleport's going to become up available so soon to Fischio. Deathmark is available. Freddy's there. Fox gets caught out. He's stunned. Shockwave goes down. He's going to throw out the Deathmark onto Hillisung. I don't think it'll be enough to kill him. Fox is now down. They're trying to focus on Freddy. He gets chain locked. Stunned into the wall. Freddy is down.
All right, they just like walk into the, just walk in there one by one.
They're going to give the Baron and he will try and take at least the tower down here. There's so many minions for SK Gaming.
We've seen split push Rek'Sai before, but this one will be successful. Unicorns of Love have gonna lose an inhibitor turret. They secure Baron. Now they turn onto Enrated. Enrated's trying to buy time for Svenskeren. Sven is about to secure the tower. It's down. Now he turns his attention to the inhibitor, but Kickus has managed to find him. Bardax caught up by...
Alright, this is just a throw storm now.
It does look like it because Vizichachi has jumped on him.
Couldn't even get the in him. Goodbye, Forgiven.
Summon a heal. The root, the auto attack. Forgiven's down once again. In two deaths in 5 minutes. Unicorns back in control. Actually, no, screw that. Unicorns are now in control.
Now they are. Dragon is alive. They pick that one up. Sven against Hillisang here. Kick is flashing in. Alright. That was great from the Unicorns of Love. Now just need to take this dragon Go back, spend some of your gold. There's a 3k gold on Vada.
There's nothing you can do now with this Zed. This is why you have to hit that power spike. There's absolutely nothing you can do at all. In terms of the split pushing, you can't split push out an inhibitor in the current state of the game unless the other team makes a giant error. They had so many opportunities just to split push more effectively in the mid game than they chose. And instead of pressing their advantage, they just backed off of the turrets and chose poor fights. Now they're in a situation where there's very little they can do against the huge tankiness. That Baron was pathetic, though. If SK got that Baron, this game was so over. But even then, the SK team fought well to bring it back. And then they don't bait the Baron. They try and go after it. When there's a top laner with TP, who's super tanky, zooming in on them.
The backline, or if they manage to at least buy enough time to kill Visichachi or Kickers in that front line, they can still win the fight. It's just getting so hard for them. And if you look at the two compositions, then SK should never be able to win anything at this point in the game. With fully completed items, close to at least for Unicorns of Love. Just needing one more for Power of Evil.
There's nothing you can do. There are so many tanks on Unicorn. The Corki poke isn't doing any damage really anymore. Hard to poke with the Zed compared to the Ori when you can zone control like that, and the tanks are just going to take it. Great ult. Yeah, there's so many shields. There's a QSS there. You can't do that. Why didn't Vardax QS? Oh, he QSS something earlier. What did he QSS? Why did he QSS right there? It was actually really smart for Fox to go in on him after that.
Freddy is trying to pull distraction. The Wallop gets onto Fox. Fox is looking for Vardax with the QSS. Plus the
He QSS through something that Shyvana hit him.
Shining in from the back line. Forgiven's been able to heal. He's rejoined the team. Look at the minions in the top lane. Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, that was just a misplay, I think. But Fox seeing that in that chaos that he had used the QSS was pretty good. I mean, he died, but what else are you going to do? You have to go. You're not going to get that opportunity again. You have to go for it. I guess he QSS the smite, but that's still bad. I think it was a mistake.
They're going to get more 30 seconds here on the Z from SK Gaming. That man down, and Unicorns are not done.
They're not done yet. They're re-engaging onto.
Regardless, I mean, even if he did intentionally QSS the smite, that's really dumb.
Looking for more, but there's no Dragon's Descent. Kickus in Mega Gnar is going to start backing away, and Unicorns of Love take absolute control. This is for a spot in the Spring Split Finals. And SK Gaming, oh, they're making a big play. Freddy's going for the inhibitor. The rest
Wow, that's actually a great TP from Freddy.
Race on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Visichachi forced to cancel the recall. The rest of Unicorns are now low.
How much longer does this game go on?
Will start spawning errated, caught out by the Tibbers. Wild Growth will keep them up for a while or two longer. Take a look at the Nexus turrets. Freddy is focusing it down. The audience is waiting with bated breath. Teleport is being used to try keep.
Oh man, that shield is so huge.
No, he survives. But Vardax is caught out. Rek'Sai was able to take him out. Kickus is low.
This game.
Look at that. Now Rek'Sai's going back. They're onto the Nexus turret. We've got a base fight race on our hands. Unicorns of Love might be out.
There are at least a lot of them dead now. 2 guys down here. Both Vardax and Kickis, 50 seconds. SK
The Rek'Sai's here now, but Freddy's too low to finish.
Chachi clears all the minions.
Where's the rest of SK? Look at the minimap.
Wow. Close.
Exposed Nexai on
Good thing Visichachi came back onto that TP. I mean, SK has had so many opportunities to do well in this game, and they keep getting breaks as well. Both teams keep getting these huge breaks, but especially SK. I mean, after they lost that Baron and they lost their timing window, they continue to get so many opportunities or make them for themselves. That was a good call
team.
to take out the
It's gonna be a
inhibitor.
big one for the Unicorns if they want to sit as a tool to potentially force a fight, or maybe SK Gaming can try and sneak it in. Thing is, Unicorns should still not be able to lose a fight. 5-on-5, out in the open, they should not be able to lose at this point. But as we can see here, there's a lot more things going on. Suddenly
Stranger things have happened.
you're TPing in the base and you're stopping the recalls and everything. And we're still also at the point where the death time...
Are we going to see a dragon for a Baron trade here?
No longer belongs to Unicorns. Keep in mind, with the previous play, it was SK.
Okay, so they have edge on the dragon here as well. They have it ward. SK has it warded. They have the better setup because they got the minions into the base.
The scaling is in favor with Unicorns. And the super minions are being dealt with. SK have pushed the waves out. 44 seconds for Baron.
Okay, they're going to try and go for the Baron instead, even though their wards are on the dragon side. And they can't create a pick on this side because they don't have the vision.
Trying to set up some vision control around it, but quickly getting denied.
This is awkward. You can't hold both of these. You can't hold both top and bottom when you don't have upgraded trinkets.
Back to some sort of split pushing. They might want to try and force a 5.
Your clearing isn't efficient enough when you have like 6 items because you can't get pink wards, so this needs to be upgraded so that you can actually clear the vision.
There's no Rek'Sai ulti either for them.
Because you can't get 5 pink wards down on the map right now because of 6 item Caitlyn and 6 item Shyvana.
Will secure an uncontested dragon. Bardax is left to defend the base. Fox pushing out the minion wave. The rest of Unicorns
Okay.
defensive positioning. Notice Kickers just went Mega Gnar. If SK were to rush Baron, that could...
Oh, they're gonna find him.
Can they kill him? They've got Fox, but will they lose Baron? Fox QSS's. Illisan continues to chase. Power of Evil's looking for the distance speed up. Fox has pulled 3 members. It's all on Vizicachi and Kickers. There are flashes available, but are they going to go in? I think they're giving this one up. SK Gaming have taken Baron.
Alright, so what Unicorns did right here was try and buy time for that inhibitor.
But lose Baron. Fox a long time to get there.
So he's just pushing in the minion wave right now. This is actually really silly. Trading the Baron for this kill onto Zed is really not a good decision by Unicorns. It's hard for them to defend though because they had super minions in their base and they had no TP available and they only have 1 Nexus turret right now, so they had the pressure, I suppose. They couldn't really do anything else, so they might as well take out the Zed. And now the Zed can't split push with the Baron again. This is exactly like in that other game.
Possibly against a Baron buff team, but
backdoor Nexuses.
Then
Fnatic is number 1. If there was ever a team that lost to 1 Nexus turret between them and Unicorn's Nexus.
How is this epic saga going to end?
And a spot in the spring split.
How do the Unicorns of Love come back?
5 seconds left before Fox
so
respawns.
gotta go push out that bottom lane.
Ooh, GA Oriana.
Sure there's no way that Freddy can TP in the base and try and finish off the game if Unicorns move out of it. So now
Killer Roll
Inhibitors respawn.
Scimitar.
They won they got the 1 kill, waited it out, didn't have to risk it because it's so tough when the bottom lane inhibitor is the one.
I really don't like this Zhonya's on the Annie. Righteous Glory is a million times better. What are you going to do? Do slightly more damage when you come out of Zhonya's with your 0 AP on Annie? You only need 1 round of cooldowns anyway to be effective. As long as you drop Tibbers at this point, that's the most important thing. I'd rather have Glory just to get everybody moving quickly. Have 2 Glories. Glory Talisman.
Unicorns looking for an engage. Hillisang is not deciding to flash. Fox should be able to get some damage. He's actually
Holy shit, how long is this game?
was completed for Power of Evil. Keep that in mind if a fight breaks up. Boomerang will get the slow. Big chunk.
Very good ulti from Bardax.
Ace in the hole. It's really difficult ulti. We do see the flash engage from Hillisang, but it's only on defense gear, and I don't know if it's enough. Wild Growth up to Freddy. He's not used Dragon's Descent yet, as Kickers is about to turn Mega Gnar. Needs 1 or 2 more hits.
Inhibitor here.
He's on the back line. He's going onto the inhibitor. It's the objectives that win the games. Mega Gnar is available, and Fox is pulling all of Unicorn's attention. 3,000 gold difference. Bardax left to defend. The rest of Unicorns are the mid inhibitor turrets.
As long as they keep SK here, it's fine for the Unicorns of Love. They're waiting for that one opening.
Well, not gonna
But Given
find
is
it
out of
yet.
mana, so SK has to back away now.
Oh, that's a flash boomerang from Kickers. He's trying to take advantage of the fact that Forgiven is not there and SK are split. Where is Chachi? Teleport is available. Void Rush is going top lane. SK are peeling away. Baron, worn off.
Yeah, and this means now
If they had Baron and top on Fox, that would have been very different.
Hole comes out. The root does get instantly QSS. The rest of Unicorns.
Wait, how does Fox get caught here?
Away. Baron has worn off.
Yeah, and this means now for
Oh,
Unicorns
he's
of
just
Love,
waiting here while his team
they
recall.
can
Why
get
are you
inside
waiting?
near the mid lane, and SK
Your
give
team has already made the call to go back. You can't be a sneaky little ninja in the bottom side
Is there a flash here from Chachi?
if your team isn't simultaneously putting pressure. Now you don't have flash.
The rest of Unicorns, they're chasing. Power of Evil is trying to cut him off, and I think
I have no idea what he was waiting for blue buff. He had the blue buff timer. He was trying to steal their blue.
Trying to push on the side.
Oh, that was really
Continuing
greedy.
to chase. Enrated has found Fox. He's no longer in kill threat.
And the blue buff just spawned, but he was waiting for it.
Here, he might get stopped, and then Sven moves all the way in to the base. Everyone from Unicorns decides to recall here.
Also, this jungle Gnar is not convincing me. I fail to see how it's better than Nunu or Sejuani in this game.
Let's see what's going on. Back in the base.
It could all come down to one more dragon.
Could do. I mean, it's gonna be one more team fight. If they're one next.
Oh god, why does it have to be so long?
Who loves pink? Bardags. There is so much pressure on him. Kikis gets caught by a little bit of poke here.
Let's make it 90%, but it's gonna be close to
Let's round
100.
it up. We'll round it up. We'll round it up. All right, I'll give you that one.
So UoL again not having control over the dragon right as it spawns.
Rocket, activation from Hylissang, maybe expecting more. Teleport coming in from Visit Chachi as Kickers is getting close to Mega Gnar. Chachi's coming in with home guards, looking for a target.
Except now they somehow get into the river.
We've seen a-
But it's gonna be close to
Let's round
100
it
in
up.
that
We'll
game.
round it up.
How do they get into the river?
GA against LaVale.
UoL walks up.
I would have loved to have seen a
They delay the. Oh, they killed the mini wave right there. So, SK has to back off.
Side lane management. That was a locket activation from Hylissang, maybe expecting more. Teleport coming in from Visit Chachi as Kickers is getting close to Mega Gnar. Chachi's coming in with home guards, looking for a target. Does not get one, and that's teleport down. That is so important when you have an exposed nexus.
But look at the side lanes here. Nothing for SK to take into the base. Unicorns want to fight for this dragon here and say SK.
It's a good flank from Freddy.
From 5-on-5.
Up, Spencer gets caught in again. Same exact location as earlier in this game.
Backline, Vardags is there. Shockwave gets out to Fox, but now Fox throws down the death mark. He's the first one to fall. They're going to get Freddy next. I think they've done it. Unicorns of Love are turning up to Enrated. They've got Forgiven. That's it. SK Gaming. The Unicorns of Love prove that unicorns do exist. They are Unicorns of Love.
Wow.
Turning up to Enrated. Vardags is there.
It's the exact same thing that happened last time.
Dragon here and say SK game. If you want it.
They zoned themselves out. SK just zoned themselves out. They can't fight in this choke.
That is so important when you have an exposed nexus.
But look at the side lanes here. Nothing for SK to take.
So
into the
they
base.
see everybody in here, and you need to be coming in from this angle, right?
For this dragon here and say
You don't want to be in this choke against
want it, you're gonna come.
these guys. Look at this Gnar. You can't walk in there. He's going to slam you straight into the wall. So they have to back out. They don't have vision control over this brush at all. This flank is fine, but there's no way for these three guys to actually get into the river right now. They had to go around.
5-on-5. Going for Sven.
Oh, he's dropped so low. Wild Growth keeps him up. Freddy's trying to get in the back line. Vardags
There's
is
just they're just sitting here attacking tanks the entire time.
there. Shockwave gets out to Fox.
And they got so much free damage on Svenskeren too.
The first one to fall. They're going to get Freddy next. I think they've done it. Unicorns of Love turning up to Enrated. They've got Forgiven. That's it.
Oh god.
And they go on to face Fnatic.
Well, as long as I think Fnatic should be heavy favorites, as long as they don't do that Lee Sin crap. As long as they just play their standard Fnatic style, they should be fine.